When you hear her laughing across a crowded room, then fly to her side and make her your own. For all through your life you may dream all alone.
Hi, my name is Daniel Lee. I am a Hmong actor, singer, writer, producer, director, opera singer. I do whatever fulfills me creatively at that moment. I'm from Fresno, California. Well, I mean, I don't know if the struggles I face are universally, it's tough because as a Hmong actor, when you tell them, because I look Chinese apparently, they'll say, "Oh, you speak Chinese?" Like, no, I don't. I'm a Hmong actor. A lot of it, especially when you're talking with like the cast and crew behind the camera, they will not know who you are. They're like, "Oh, we've never heard of that before." But let's say if you're talking about industry-wise, it's really hard to place us. It's really hard to place us because we're not Chinese, we're not Japanese, we're not Korean. When it comes to historically accurate stuff, they try to stay close in line to whatever they're filming. And it's tough because I'm like a classically trained actor, so I love dramatic stuff. But my look, they want me to be like the singing sumo wrestler or just the Asian Jonah Hill. Not at first. I started in Fresno. I grew up in church and we always kind of sang because that was the thing to do. But in college, I started doing choir, and through that I met a couple friends and they actually introduced me to opera. They're like, "Oh, you want to do opera?" I was like, I don't know, it's not really my thing because the stereotypical opera thing with like the Viking horns and the breastplates, I never really wanted to, but I did it anyway because my girlfriend really wanted me to just try it out. And coincidentally, I got cast in the lead role. My first performance was The Magic Flute, and I played the role of Papageno, the bird catcher / birdman. And before then, my family has always been like, "Oh, just no really much need for college. You can just go and find a job and pay the bills and make a living for yourself. The arts, you can't find money, you can't support a family with that, so there's no need." But when they came out to see my first show, they saw that I was, during the curtain call, where everybody is applauding for the cast at the end, they saw how much joy it gave me. So they eventually started to support me in the arts and say, "Okay, keep doing that while, not letting go of what they believe. Say, well, make sure you have a job to pay the bills." Hmong means, that's a tough question. To me, it's to be different, but to be proud of it because, society tends to group us in with the Chinese or the Thais or the Laos, but we are a different sub-ethnic culture. So, we're different, we're proud to be different. So that's what it means to me, is to have our own unique identity and be proud of it and not necessarily just get bunched up with anybody else. Hollywood is the dream. Hollywood let's say for me, if I ever made it in Hollywood, that brings a sense of validation. And everything I've done up to this point, every hardship I've gone through, every dollar I've spent that I don't get back right away is worth it, because now people can see somebody like me in the limelight. And what I love most about it is that it also gives other Hmong kids something to look forward to. The big epidemic in the south side of Fresno has always been, if you're not going to school, then you're going to become a gangster. And I want to be able to give kids in Fresno and anywhere else in the world something to look up to, something to know that, hey, I can make it. I'm worth something. I'm not just here to be a tax deduction for somebody. I'm not just here to be, another mouth to feed. I have a purpose. And if my purpose is to inspire other people to explore self-expression, by all means. My dad actually was one of the child soldiers in the war. I think he was like 10 or 11 when he went in. It was tough. It was tough for him because I remember him telling me stories about how when he was a kid and everything was happening, he looked to his mom and he'd just think to himself like, I have nothing to contribute, so I might as well go to the war. And it's kind of heartbreaking to think that a child at that age, has to go to the military in order to contribute to something. As far as myself, it was tough because growing up, not to discount anybody else's historical tragedies, because we learned about the Holocaust, we learned about the genocides of the Armenians, especially in Fresno. It's a huge Armenian community. Because my story, our people's story wasn't really told. Wasn't really told in the history books. I always felt like it didn't matter as much. It didn't matter as much until I started doing some research. Started talking to a couple people, and even meeting other Hmong people. In Fresno and in LA. It really gave me a sense of community that I felt like I didn't have growing up. Because you have something, you have a story to tell, but either nobody knows it or nobody wants to tell it. So it's really important to me, and I don't know, it's a big part of my identity that I kind of hold. I think my biggest advice would be, take advantage of where you are. Because in Fresno, I didn't really know about the opportunities until I was in my early 20s. But there are opportunities. Community theater, those are great options. They're, because you have your acting classes, but when you get to work with directors and work with different cast members and learn, little things that they may not teach you in school, like stage etiquette. Like if somebody says, 5 minutes till curtain, you should respond with "Thank you, 5." Just let them know that you heard their instructions. And to see people work. To see people work and hone their craft while having fun at the same time is really a joy to watch. So, in Fresno, Sacramento, wherever you are, take advantage of the community around you, get to know people, and also it can help out with learning what networking is. Get to know people. There's just one thing I learned from a business, when I was working for an IT company back in Fresno. We joined a networking group, and the philosophy is always giver's gain. Don't get to know people for the sake of, oh, maybe they can help me out. No, when you meet people, ask them, what can I do to make your dream happen? Your vision, your project, how can I help? And you'll be surprised how many doors that can open for you.